Because I remember, I, s- I sang a song called Soul Power. I'm saying, oh Lord, give me power to set my people free. You know, we want the right to live like free men, but poverty is all we see. And I think that's where God gave me that baseline thing, because the amount of people that have made their career, there are people down the line, from one thing down the line, that have um, profited from those baselines. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
because each individual, every singer that sing reggae music from way back then up to today, every singer and every DJ is on Leroy Sibbles baselines.
right.
Every. I mean, that's one or two.
Yeah, yeah.
Every. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the Almighty answering my call,
Mm-hmm.
because I have created a way within these baselines for a lot of people.
Mm.
Yes, yes. You know, so I sat there with Jackie Me too, and we practiced these lines and stuff, and went to the Tit for Tat Club, and we tore that place down. And I enjoyed every moment of it. We did a few months there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was packed and really nice. That was you know, another form of the music that I enjoyed, that I had, yeah, opened up to me, that I really had a pleasure of. Yeah. So after that, right after that, some people came from England, the Carreras. There's a cigarette company in
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
They introduced a new cigarette, called Embassy King,
Mm-hmm.
and so they wanted to do a thing on that, promote
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this new product.
Yeah.
So what they did, they came to Studio One, and somehow I don't know who got in touch with these young kids. It was Phil Kalinda's drummer,
Right.
um, Robbie Lynn, keyboards, guitar was Rick Frater,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, and I became the bass man
Mm-hmm.
right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Booth was, that's how I met those guys, those that I just mentioned, and Ken Booth was the person at the time. He was a major star. He was on top. He was saying and doing right there at that moment. So they called Ken Booth to be the headliner
Mm-hmm.
on this. He would be singing up front. My very first two recordings was those two recordings that we did there with them as promotion.
Mm-hmm.
It was 45 records. It was vinyl then,
Mm-hmm.
so it could have one side. So we did the Embassy King promotional song
Mm-hmm.
that someone wrote and Ken sang it, and on the flip side, he wrote one of Ken's song that he wrote was called "Without Love You Just Can't Go On."
Mm-hmm.
So it's about when I was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know that song?
Yeah, man.
Without love, you just can't go on. Me and a man called Denzel Lang. He was a percussionist at
Mm-hmm.
Suda One. We sang harmony, and we went on tour. We went all island tour,
Mm-hmm.
doing this Embassy Kings thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had on a short red jacket and white pants.
Mm-hmm.
Because the cigarette was red and white
Okay, okay.
label,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we all was out there looking like a pack of cigarettes. Yeah, but it was good. It was fun, and
Yeah.
a learning experience because yeah, you know. So after that, we came back. That ended after it did its term, and a real recording now. My first real recording was Jackie in the studio, me on bass, and these guys, and we did Baby Why. And from that day, every time I played a bass line, was a hit song. Was hit. Leroy was start putting out hits like all when Jackie left. That's when I started putting because I was doing my own creations now, my own bass lines, my own. I was totally in charge of the studio now, and yeah, you know.
And that was at Studio One,
Studio
right?
One, yeah,
Right.
Studio One, Jackie
So
Studio.
would Coxsone be there during the day?
No, he was never there. Cox was the one who came in at nights and reviewed what we did, what was done in the day. Yeah, you know, yeah, and he loved it because I became the major person back then. Yeah.
So
And,
how was you guys' relationship between you and Coxsone? Was it business or was it friendship? Or what was it like?
it was mostly business, because Cox was all right, but he was the executive producer. I wasn't there for Coxsone. I was there for the music, you know. So we didn't have much of a out of studio relationship, you know. And then he wasn't the kind of guy that was giving us our financial rewards as he was supposed to. He was serious as a businessman. I guess he was very selfish financially. So we didn't have that kind of love. No one there had that kind of love. People would appreciate him and all of that and all of that. We understand that, you know. But he was like just the boss, you know. So we, the musicians, all got along together more than the boss. The boss is the boss, you know. Yeah. So
But you kind of had your playground there, and
yeah.
this was your
My-
place,
my,
you
yeah,
know.
my playground was inside the studio from 12 to 5. That was all mine, you know. Yeah, you know. So we did that. We did music like when Dennis Brown as a little kid came in there. We played out the whole album for Dennis Brown there, and almost every song on that album was a hit. You know, his very first hit song that we released, "No One Is an Island," straight to #1. The whole album, that album there, bad. It was like they was on top. You know, yeah. And we did when the very first two songs that we did at Studio One, the for the cables. The second song was "What Kind of World." That was my creation of a bass line, and that is mashing up the place up to today. Yes, yeah, people going on it right up to today. The latest recordings on that was done by the River by Morgan Heritage. Yeah, you know, and Freddie is on there too. You know, and some other people too. You know, whenever you touch a Studio One bass line, is usually a Leroy Sibbles bass line, yeah, creation. You know, and I'm proud of that. It makes me proud. You know, it feels good to know that I have contributed and in a major way. You know, oh yes.
And I mean, you mentioned several names of musicians that you played with, like Phil Calendar, Robin, and so forth, Jackie Me Too. Who would you say did you enjoy playing with the most?
These guys that I mentioned. That's why I mentioned them first. You know, yeah. I've gotten some. That drummer, he passed away. May he rest in peace. Phil Calendar was one of the best drummer I've ever played with. Even though I played with another drummer called Osmouth. Is on the actually on that Dennis Brown album is Osmouth, and I played on that, and it wasn't Phil. You know, Osmouth has a one style. That was his problem with me. every song him play the same style, one style. You know, when Phil was improviser, you know, yeah. It would play. It would be feeling what he was doing. You know, you have different feelings for different tracks, and I love that. You know, yeah. But they were all guided by bass lines. Oh yes.
And so can I imagine you guys in the studio together from 12 to 5 being like in a lab kind of
Yeah,
working out things where, all right, maybe we try this or that.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, actually, it wasn't even a lot of let us try this, you know, because as I hear the song, the bass line came to me, you know, and from the bass line come, the song is ready because everyone is just following the progression of the chord progression of the song, you know. I have to go out of my way to find a bass line. This is different, totally different, you know. It's easier for everyone else, but for the bass line because you have to come with a bass line that works, you know. Yeah, because back then a bass line tell the song, you know. Yeah, back then it wasn't just the title of the song, you know. The bass lines were very important. Yeah, it was the bass lines. That was the main important thing back then.
One quote I heard from you was that you are so happy about the fact that you were there with reggae from the very beginning of the thing, right? That you were a part of it all along the way. So how was that like in the late 60s when the music transitioned from rocksteady into reggae? How was the spirit of people like them time? Was there did that just progress naturally, or did you say, all right, make we do something new? Or?
Yeah, most what my thought, right, is that the the singers, right, predict the mode and the tempo of songs. So when singers started to bring slower songs, that all it took. That's all you needed to change. If you understand what I'm saying, you know. And I would not put that on no special individual. Some people say it's me. Some people say it's somebody else. Some people say it's Epton. Some people. I cannot pinpoint the exact time or whoever was responsible. I know that we were part of that because I was never a lover of ska. I had to accept it, and you know, while it did its time, I was there a part of it, you know, enjoying it and doing whatever I had to do. Because our first album was for Studio One was a bit of ska influenced because at the time that's where the music was. But as we continue working, it all slowed down and became rock steady. You know.
So that was more your thing. What is your thing?
Yeah, rock steady. Oh yeah, yeah. Because like I said earlier, I wasn't a lover of ska. You know, I listen to the music and there's a lot of ska music that I love, but I wasn't a lover of ska music. When it came down to rock steady, they had me rocking steady. Yeah, love that. Yeah, you know, and transition to ska. I don't even see much difference between ska and rock steady. You know, there's not much difference because I can't even tell you. I can't tell you that. Rocksteady, right? One thing I know about Rocksteady was the bass lines was had a bit of that. What some guys would call it one drop kind of sound. The bass line was playing a dip that it had a dip and fall back kind of a thing about it, you know, and You could have ska, the same thing. Ska, there's not much difference between rocksteady and ska. Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
not much different. Same kind of feel, same kind of temper in most of the music. Yeah.